guys, I'm Jeremy Smith with the West Alabama Watchman. This is Rob Pearson joining us for the King Chiropractic post-game report. Rob, a big one tonight, 42-23 win for Demopolis. That's a big Region 4 win over the number 8 team in 5A.
Yes, it was. 2 top 10 teams going at it, and it looked like that for the first quarter and a half. And we looked at each other and didn't know which team was better.
Yeah, I felt like when Calera comes out, they get that opening drive, a lot of rhythm, they score. It looked like Demopolis took them a minute to respond, but there's one play there in the first half you and I both felt like really turned the tide, and that's the A.J. Collier hit on swing pass. Doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but it was a big hit.
You're exactly right, and we'll have A.J. Collier on in a little bit to talk about that play, but it changed the entire complexion of the game, Jeremy. Their sidelines on this side, just all of a sudden everybody in blue was up on their feet and hollering. The fans were all on their feet, and it really changed the momentum of the game really for the rest of the game. It changed the whole game. Very
interesting sequence. Now on the very next snap they call a similar play, and the receiver got a little case of alligator arms as the linebacker was bearing down on him, so it really felt like that changed it a little bit. We've got some overall game totals for you. Rob's got those as we look at our total stats for the night.
And you know that they were even for the first half, but I think the second half, Demopolis certainly pulled away, especially that opening drive of the second half was really the exclamation point that set the tone for the rest of the game. Demopolis ends up with 16 first downs to Calera's 9, and it's interesting to note, Jeremy, you pointed this out, Calera only had 2 first downs in the second half, and that's a testament that defense, the way it energized, and especially after that first drive of the game, Drew Luker and his staff did a great job of making adjustments and fixing whatever holes that were in the defense to start with. Demopolis had 406 yards of total offense. Calera had 359. Most of those were on big plays. Yep. They had a 70-yard pass play to end their last score.
61-yarder. They really, the vast majority of their yards came on about 6 plays.
So, you know, for the most part, the defense held in check. You know, the coaches will find things that they'll want to improve on, but you really got to tip your hat to the job the defense did. Calera passed the ball 11 times, completed 5 for 114 yards. Demopolis attempted 1 pass, did not complete it for 0 yards. But why would you? We joked with Coach Luker at halftime. He said, you know, should we throw it? Like, no. I mean, you know, why would you? We ran the ball 59 times for 406 yards. That's a pretty stellar night on the ground.
That's a big deal, and I'll take you right into the individuals. You got leaders on that one. Jay Craig with the big night tonight, right. Rob. 30 carries for 212 yards, a career high for him, and 5 touchdowns on the night. So a big night for him, but it wasn't just him. Drew Jones had 10 carries for 92 yards. Jamarcus Ezel ends up with 65 yards on 8 carries. So an all-around good night for the Tigers running the ball.
It was, and most importantly, they improved on the one thing that Coach Stacy Lucas talked about in the last 2 weeks, and that's penalties. The Tigers were only penalized 3 times for 15 yards.
And this is what's great. All 3 of those came in the first half, and all 3 of them were motion, were procedure penalties. So a big thing for them. They've been working the last 2 weeks to try to clean that up. Defensive leaders tonight, Russ Logan, 9 tackles and a forced fumble. Logan McVeigh with 5 tackles. He had a block kick and a forced fumble as well. Of course, we talked about A.J. Collier's big hit. So a great night all the way around for the Tigers. They're going to head to Jemison next week for another region game, and we'll all be excited to see that one. Join us next week for the King Chiropractic post-game report. All right, first thing, I'm going to take you somewhere you're probably not thinking about. Your penalties tonight. You had 3 for 15 in the first half, not a single penalty in the second half.
Great. That'll keep me off of them on Monday. And you know, our penalties were motion penalties, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of them. So yeah, man, we had to clean that part up, and we've addressed that with our kids. And but at least they're conscious of it. That's the main thing.
Calera came out, looked like they were playing with a lot of rhythm, and they got that score on the first drive. Did you make adjustments to swing that momentum?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they made some adjustments with coverage and getting more people in the box, and they hurt us with a couple of big plays, right down to the last one. But let's don't forget that 4th down stop at 28-17, because they had the momentum, and that was huge. That was a huge point in the game, and you know, I thought we played tough over there. I do. That's a great football team. Physical and fast.
You get a moment in the second quarter where A.J. Collier lays out Harrell on a swing pass that
changed the whole complexion of the game, didn't it? It did. I thought we were a little flat early. I don't know why, because we really had a good week of practice. But yeah, that did. It changed the complexion of it.
Jay Craig ends up unofficially 222 yards, 5 touchdowns. Talk about the night that he had, but not just him, that O-line.
Sure, he's physical, man. He's made some physical runs, ran out of tackles. Offensive line, I thought, did a great job blocking, staying on blocks, but Drew Jones, Keyshawn Scott leading up in there, getting their runs. I mean, I think Drew probably had 70 or 80 yards. I don't know, because we'd pop in the trap with him a good bit, and Keyshawn had key runs. It's a three-headed monster. That's what I tell them all the time, three-headed monster. They're going to get their touches, and man, they're physical, downhill guys.
There's no way to, I guess, overstate this. It's a region win. It's a ranked team. It's what a lot of people felt was the odds-on favorite to win the region.
Sure.
How big is this for you to control your own fate moving forward?
It's big. I mean, we talked about making a statement here early in the year, and we want people to know that we're on the map in 5A. That's the main thing. But there's a long way to go. You know, there's still a grind ahead of us. We know that. So, gotta go back to work, man. Can't get satisfied with what we're doing. Just work.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
A.J. Collier, Jay Craig. A.J. Collier is the play of the game. And because on a hit that he made on a slant pattern, A.J., I want to talk to you about that first half. Their offense came down and really took it to y'all and scored in the first drive. What did y'all do defensively to adjust?
They got to be physical. When you physical, they lay down.
Now tell me about that play that seemed to change the game. It was an incomplete pass on the books, but you hit him.
It could have been a pick six, but I came to my first instinct and hit him.
Well, it was a great play. After that, did you see their demeanor change at all after that one play?
They didn't want to catch no more balls.
They weren't committed, were they? Here's Jay Craig, who had about 230 yards rushing on 30 carries, on 5 touchdowns. Jay, they gave up a score to start the game. The offense took the field. What was the mindset of the offense in that first drive?
Well, I kept preaching to the offensive line all through practice this week. We got to start off hard and physical, like we did when we played Thomasville the second half. Come out hard and strong and finish the same way.
Your yards were not easy. I mean, there was some hard running in there. Talk about the challenge Calera gave you and the job your offensive line did against that challenge.
Talking about the offensive line first. The offensive line, they did a great job. And Calera, they brought the phone. They just want to match.
How good did it feel to score that last touchdown on about 30-yard run? How good did it feel to score that last touchdown?
It felt great. It was wonderful.
This is a big region game. It's good to start off 1-0 in the region. How big is this game?
Big. This game right here is going to set it for our region for the rest of the season.
You got a big one next week with Jemison. Y'all ready? Congratulations to both.